Hello, Joel Callow from 4UK again. Over the past 5 years, worked on solar projects ranging from small domestic projects all the way up to big commercial installations, going up to like 1,300 panels, so some pretty big systems. And over those years, I've designed a lot of systems myself, so I've got plenty of experience. And today, what we're going to be going through is solar 3 years ago versus solar today in 2025. That's a question I get come up quite a bit. People have previously looked into solar and they want to see how things stack up in today's day. So let's hop into it. We're going to rewind to 2022 and see what the solar and battery escape looked like. So in 2022, panels were around 20% efficient, typically in the 400 to 420 watt range on the higher end. And many of them still actually had the visible silver bus bars on the front, so the aesthetics weren't as pleasing. Batteries around then, they were between 3,000 to 6,000 estimated life cycles, with some companies are still selling those specs today, which personally I would try to avoid going for a battery at that side with all of the stuff that's on the market at the moment. On the inverter side of things, 6 kilowatt was really like the maximum you could go up to. We had you had a 2 kilowatt, 3.68, 4 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, 6 kilowatt inverter. There's not as much oversizing potential on them as well. But you wouldn't really see any inverter sizes much higher than that. And the DNO themselves they would pretty much cut you off at the 6, which has changed in 2025 or 2024, 2025. Panel warranties were also a lot weaker. You were looking at about a 15-year warranty on the panels. And at the end of the 30 years, they would be saying the panels would be down at around 83 to 84% of their original performance. And on the price side of things, because price is a huge factor, obviously the main thing with solar is it being able to pay itself off. And back then, 3 years ago in 2022, 16 panel system, 20 kilowatt hour battery, which is a pretty standard system that we do, would have cost you about 14 to 16 grand, giving you a typical payback of about 7 to 9 years. But when we compare that to what you're getting in 2025, huge difference. So let's jump into that. So in 2025, panels are pushing 23.5% efficiency. And the amount of wattage that you're getting is, we're currently on 470 watts. You're looking 470 to 485 is the top kind of wattage for the same size panels of 1.76 by 1.134 meters. There are some larger options, such as the 510 watt panel. There are some bigger options than that, but they start to get physically bigger as well. So we kind of assess that as a per job basis if it makes sense to go for them. They're also fully black, so no bus bars on the front. Very sleek, very aesthetic, full triple black panels. Batteries are also up at 10,000 estimated life cycles, meaning you get in almost 50% extra performance on some of them, which means it's going to be lasting you longer. You get more out of it. Don't have to replace it as early down the line, so it won't impact your long-term returns as much. They also the batteries that we use, SIG Energy, include self-heating pads, which back in 2022 wasn't as common, but a lot of manufacturers saw the cold impacting their systems quite a lot, so they made sure to include self-heating pads so the performance stays to a high all year round. Inverter technology has moved on quite a bit as well. So it's no longer limited to just like the 3, 4, 5, 6. There's now 8s, 10s, 12s, potentially pushed to a 16 on single phase. But this gives you a lot more flexibility, especially on the larger houses where you can fit up to like 30, 35 panels. Especially with the panel wattages increasing, the total kilowatt peak you can get on your systems now is really, really starting to jump up. Where we would see a 6 kilowatt system being the average before, now we're up at say like 8, 9 kilowatt is usually the average size we're looking at. But having the access to bigger inverters gives you more flexibility on design, and more chance to be able to fulfill your house's peak loads, as that can sometimes exceed the 5 or 6 kilowatt inverter you would go with. Panel degradation has improved a lot. So today, warranty is looking at 25-year on the product warranty and then 30-year performance guarantee. And at the end of those 30 years, you're looking at the panels generating between 87 to 90% of what they were generating at the start, which is a big step up from just a few years ago. And if we look at the cost as well, the same 16 panel system, 20 kilowatt hours of battery that used to be 14 to 16K is now closer to 11 to 13K, with a payback period of between 5 to 7 years, sometimes coming down to 4 years, depending on the roof, the usage, future plans. There's a lot of factors that go into it. So what are the key things that have changed to make such a big difference? And it really comes down to a few key areas: higher efficiency, larger output per roof, better long-term warranties. On the batteries, you've got longer lifespans, lower costs. Inverters, they're getting bigger, so you can have smarter single-phase options. System pricing has also come down between 2,000 to 4,000, which makes a big impact on the payback. Obviously, as we mentioned, we were previously looking at like 7 to 9 years. Now it's falling into the 5 to 7 year mark. So you can see it makes a big difference, especially on your annual yields that you are getting from the system. Another important factor that's come into it is export payments have tripled over the last few years. We were previously looking at about 5p a kilowatt on average for your export, and now we're up at 15p, which will it keep increasing at that rate? Probably not. But 15p is a very nice amount to be getting paid for your export, and yeah, it can add up to a decent bit of income over the years. But yeah, put everything together and you can see it's dramatically shortened the payback period and made solar far more accessible, which, yeah, we're happy to run a financial breakdown for you. We've got a custom-made financial breakdown sheet which factors in pretty much everything. We're still adding to it month on month, keep adapting it, finding ways to make it more accurate. But here's the key point. Should you wait another 3 years and see what extra benefits you can get? This is where some people sometimes get caught out. Yes, solar is better now than it was in 2022, but the big leap has already happened. So from here on out, the curve is flattening and future improvements will be marginal gains, maybe 1 or 2% more panel efficiency or slightly better batteries. Meanwhile, system prices are sitting at a sweet spot and electricity prices remain volatile, with a long-term trend rising at 4 to 5% each year. So if you wait another 3 years, your electricity prices are still going to be going up, and yeah, potentially going to be losing out on thousands in wasted bills, missed export income, as well as leaving yourself vulnerable to potential electricity price increases in our there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment for where electricity prices can go. So if you wait 3 years down the line, you're leaving yourself at risk. But yeah, let's recap before we finish off. In 2022, solar was good, but the systems were more expensive, less efficient, and slower payback. In 2025, solar's cheaper, more efficient, and pays back faster than ever. So waiting longer doesn't unlock another big leap. You're really just missing out on savings. And if you wait, you might be able to make marginal gains like 1 or 2% extra, but then you're also paying your electricity in that meantime and not making any income from it. So yeah, if you'd like us to build you a personalized ROI forecast, personalized design based on your usage and future plans to show you what solar can look like in 2025, feel free to book a discovery call or send an inquiry in using the link in the description. And yeah, that's been SIG Energy versus Tesla